Hi guys, it's Friday and that means I will be reviewing a foundation. I picked the Airflash Spray Foundation by Dior and I have the color 100 right here. They didn't used to have that many colors. I think they used to only have about 2 to 3 colors, and in the past 2 years they came out with more colors and expanded the color range a little bit more, so I was able to get a light enough color for my skin tone. This is a very different foundation because it's in an aerosol can. I usually spray this in the center of my face where I need the most coverage, and I don't like to spray it all over my face because it gets on my hair easily and it gets on my clothes really easily as well. So you can do that, but perhaps you can clip your hair back, tie your hair back, or even put a shower cap on. Then it would protect your hair a little bit more. What I do is after I spray it in the center of my face, I will use a sponge. I recommend using a wet sponge because I find that it works really well with a wet sponge, and I just spread it out all over my face and it just works really well that way. One of the great things about this foundation is that it gives me a really wide range of coverage options. I can really sheer it out with my wet sponge, or I can really build up the coverage and actually build up to a full coverage foundation if you wanted to, and it still looks really thin on the skin. It doesn't look like you put an inch of makeup on at all, and it just really sticks onto the skin. It adheres onto the skin really well. So that's one of the greatest things about this. I do put a lot of moisturizers on even in the daytime, so I do need foundations that adhere to my skin a little bit better. I don't like foundations that appear floaty or slip and slide across my skin too much, because if it tends to do that and I already put a lot of moisturizers on, then it just really makes it worse. I would say that this foundation gives me a satin finish. You can wear it in the daytime and it wouldn't look like you have a lot of foundation on because it's really undetectable on the skin. That is what I like the most. I usually look for this type of finish in any one of my foundations. I think with the technology these days, it's not too much to ask for something that is really small in terms of their particles, and you can put it on the face and you wouldn't be able to see it in the daytime. I don't think it's too much to ask for because a lot of foundations can achieve that these days. So this is one of those that can give you that effect, and it would also be able to cover up any hyperpigmentation or any spots or anything like that as well. This also doesn't seep into your pores or any fine lines or any dry patches. So even if I have dry skin, I'm able to use it. I do think that it would probably be better for me in the summertime. After I put it on, it does sort of adhere to my skin like a mask a little bit, but once it's on, it doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. So I think that this could be a little bit drying in the winter time, and it would be great for people with normal to combination skin. I don't know how it would work for people with oily skin because it's not the most long-lasting foundation, and it doesn't claim to be the most long-lasting foundation either. I think that the longevity of it is very normal. It's about 5 hours. But when it breaks down and when your natural oils start to seep through, it makes it look even better. It makes your skin look like it's glowing, but it sort of just breaks down gracefully and it doesn't crack. It just looks better and better. If you want a really matte finish throughout the day, then you can add a powder over it, and it would work really well with all sorts of powders because it dries down quickly on your face. Usually a lot of face powders don't work well on foundations that are very wet because it does tend to cake up, but with this, since it dries down really quickly, then any powder seems to work really well on top of this. Overall, I think this foundation is really good. I do really like it, even though at first I thought it wouldn't work well on dry skin, but I was really surprised that it works really well on my skin. If you find it to be a little bit drying on you, I suggest putting on a little bit more moisturizer. It works just as well if you put on a little bit more moisturizer. As I said, it really adheres well to the face. It's really quick to put on in the morning. You just you don't even have to spray it in the middle of your face. You can just spray it onto a sponge and dab it all over the face, and it makes the application so quick. So if you're in a hurry in the mornings all the time, then this is something that you can consider. However, if you like to travel, if you have to travel all the time, then this may not be the best one, because it is in an aerosol can and it's probably not the best to travel a lot with aerosol cans. Other than that, I think it's a great foundation in the market because the range of customers that it reaches out to is very wide. You can use it with oily skin or you can use it with dry skin. And even if you like sheer coverage or high coverage, you would still be able to make it work. Using the spraying method to put it on is very effective if you want a very high coverage, and also if your skin texture is not very smooth. Think of it as a spray paint. If you want to spray paint a wall that has some holes and maybe some cracks, if you use a spray paint, it would look flawless and it would get into all the nooks and cracks. But if you use a sponge and wipe it across your face, a lot of the products will go into the cracks, but it would wipe away the foundation on the top. So if you want a really high coverage, you can spray it all over the face and then use a sponge to go over any areas that you need to smooth out or anything. And that is it for my really quick review of the Dior Airflash Foundation. I thought it was really easy to explain because it's a very simple and straightforward foundation. It works for a lot of different skin types. If anyone has tried this foundation, let me know in the comment section below how you got on with it. If not, I really do recommend you giving it a try because I do think that it's a very good foundation. So I will see you next Friday. Bye!